So far we've used the pen tool, the shape tool, everything to try to help you get along with this. So I'm just going to show you this section here. These are two separate pieces connected. So I'll take those off just to show you how they're built. So you're trying to make this triangular shape. Again, you can use the pen tool. You can try to place the elliptical shape that's on there. It's probably one of the easier ways. The other way is to taking the polygon tool, and as you draw this with the arrow keys coming down, this makes a triangle. The shift key places it within that shape. Since I've gone ahead and kind of organized up all the coloring here, I'll just give it a different shape there. Going into the same tool just to get the ellipse tool, here's the center point. I can click off of it, but just Option and Shift gives me a circle on there, and I can fill that in, give that a color as well. So in order to move that, I'll just get a copy, set it off to the side. I can select both of these, and the tool that you want to take a look at is going to be the Transform tool. And when you click on this one, it's window shaded out in here, so if you don't have your palette set up with all of the advanced options, then some of these tools might be hidden from view in there, so it's kind of listed in there. Just remember that all of the sections that come through have the window shade, and this one has Puppet Warp Tool and Free Transform, and the Free Transform shows these options. And when you take a look at the mouse over it, Constraining, Free Transform, Perspective, and Free Distort, when you click on Free Distort, you can actually just grab the corners of this. Be careful though, and it's trying to get you to locate these sections and placing those on there. So it gives you a little bit of a constrained section on there. This one is Perspective Distort, so you can set that up here. And you can see it's coming all over the place to build that up. But for starters, it's just a good thing as you kind of come through this distortion on this part, the corners that come through, and the section that's in there. Easiest way is to take and build this up like so. Just going to use the eyedropper to get that shape. And just to show that, I'll take the stroke off, but then Shift X so I can see through it temporarily. And here's this elliptical shape. And now this one, I'll give it a color, and Shift X. So now that's the piece that you're trying to manipulate. And if you have the Distort tool, you can grab within this, it'll shear it to the side. When you grab the corners, it'll rotate. It'll get you from changing it to a scale, and the option to grab just a corner point of this. So it'll build that section up. So you can do it individually or separately. This is the Shift X again. And again, trying to go through some of the gradients. And here's the gradient, but in your swatches panel. And depending on how you have these listed, you could even place them closer together so you have that section. And just remember that the gradients come through here. And you have all of these options to choose from. And as they come out, you can kind of see that particular section there. So just kind of drag this out. But it'll give you those choices as you come up. So here's these fades. As you go through the booklet, you can kind of change these. Just remember that you have the gradient tool here that you can bring across to get the editor. Just make sure it's on the fill, not the stroke. And that'll give you some of these options to kind of work from. So depending on how you're placing that, selecting it, taking the Reflect tool, window shade this out so you can see it, and just right on this selection, hold the option and click it across. It'll give you that piece. And once I have the gradient, again, I can take this and adjust this piece or change that whole color scheme from that section. Just spacebar this over a little bit. And here's the piece. If I want to add to this, double clicking brings it to me so I can see the color choice of it, and you can start to create those pieces in there. So it's just a simple solution there. I can double click this to change that in the color picker just so it has a different value from that section. And here I can use the pen tool. Is going to give me the smart guide right on the anchor point once I get to that section. Getting to this piece and doing it down here. So when you see the selection, double clicking on this is going to give you the lighter value tone before and after color. So you can kind of see that using some of the tones and the gradients. When you see that this has the elliptical shape down there, I can just select it, take the reflect tool, and just option and click it, and just preview it to see what it's looking like. And that's going to give you this horizontal piece down here. Just make it at the top. Place it right in there. And again, this one, here's the bounding box, option and shift just to make it a little bit smaller. So you have these different tools to work with. This is the transform tool that you want to try. And that'll get you set up onto these pieces. And I'll try to illustrate the others off the screen there for you.